Hey, it's me, Quincluded, and I'm here with another video, another My Anime List video. And I technically think I have another week because I like doing them at the end of the month that I'm doing them, but I don't actually know when February 1st technically is. But instead of getting in another week of adding shit to the list, I was like, you know what, I'll just do it today. So let's get right into it. The very first thing I watched, like I think I watched this on January 2nd, maybe, of this year, was Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. At the end of December or throughout December, I played the original Final Fantasy VII. Then I played the PSP game, Crisis Core. Then I looked it up because I had two more things left: this movie and then another game called Dirge of Cerberus. So I was like, okay, I own the movie already on Microsoft Films and TV. I bought it like a gazillion years ago. So then I watched it. Thankfully, thank fuck, it's only an hour and 40 minutes long. I mean, that's still longer than it should be. I gave this movie a 2 out of 10 stars. It was like actual fucking torture. It's got some of the worst. I have to assume voice direction slash voice acting that like I've ever fucking heard. It only gets 2 stars instead of one because it's really bad. Because there were like one or two things that I could look at and go, hey, that was pretty cool. That was a cool action scene, or not. Sorry, my cats are fighting. The but like the I looked it up on behind the voice actors when I was watching it because I was like, okay, I recognize a few voices. There's three characters in this movie that are like the villain of Final Fantasy VII is this big evil dude called Sephiroth. Everyone loves Sephiroth, so they love him so much they keep bringing him back. So this movie, they're like, "What if we brought him back?" But there was like three smaller, twinkier versions of Sephiroth that, with their powers combined with the powers of the Wonder Twins, they became Sephiroth, even though he's already dead. So I recognized all three voices for the three twins. I was like, "That sounds like shit. Who was that?" One of them was voiced by Fred Tacatorn. I might have gotten the last name wrong because I didn't look it up again prior to recording the video. But I always like I'm pretty decent at recognizing voice actors, and then when I look them up, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know him from this. So I recognize personally as Soldier 76 from Overwatch, but also recently that game Marvel Rivals has been blowing up. There's a fly. Uh, that game Marvel Rivals blew up, and I'm pretty sure I would have to look it up again, but whatever. That he very awesome. I'm glad this bug has spawned suddenly. He voiced Captain America in Marvel Rivals, and even like just him going like when you use your ultimate ability, he goes like assemble, and just that line read is better than anything he fucking shit out in this movie. So like that's I mean I guess thank God he improved slash worked with better directors than this fucking slop. Then there was another one of the Wonder Twinks that was voiced by Dave Wittenberg, who voices Kakashi from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, and him and the other guy, the other Wonder Twink, was voiced by Steve Staley, who is like Neji from Naruto or Toshiro from Bleach. And in both of those series and those characters combined, they don't do like unbelievable performances that are going to blow your deck off, but they do a good enough job that when you hear them in something like Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, and it's garbage trash, you're like, what the fuck happened? How can you do what you did in the other thing and then this? How are you the same person? It's pretty interesting stuff. It's this says it came out in 2005, which makes sense because it's full of that like 2000s era like we're so fucking epic. Oh my god, wouldn't it be awesome if Cloud had a motorcycle and he hit a button on the motorcycle and his motorcycle opened up and there was like five different swords? Oh my god, that would be so fucking tight. And then he grabs one sword and then he like swings it so hard that it breaks into two swords and now he has two fucking swords. Oh yeah. But like I said, I gave it 2 stars, and that's only because towards the end, when Cloud is battling the fusion of the Wonder Twinks into Sephiroth 2, is that Cloud, he hits the button on his motorcycle, all the swords pop out, and then they're in the sky falling, and Cloud grabs one of his many swords and does a like big combo on Sephiroth, and that's all like, hey, that was pretty cool. And thankfully, not long after that, the movie ended. But like, it's full of such stupid bullshit. Where in Final Fantasy VII, it's like people get like experimented on by this evil scientist, and it makes them super soldiers. But then this movie was like, also there was a bunch of kids that were experimented on, and now they have turbo cancer. And then by the end of the movie, it rains and they're just cured. Some things like the last video I made, I really hope people went and watched like Free Rin or like Maki 9, One Piece fan letter, like stuff that's like amazing. If take my advice for this one, don't fucking watch this movie because you like it's not worth it even a little bit. All right, moving on. The next thing that I watched was a movie called The First Slam Dunk. This is another thing that I just had like sitting on my hard drive from Microsoft Movies and TVs I bought like on a sale. There's a big basketball manga slash anime from the 80s or the 90s that is about whatever this team is, and they play basketball. It's classic sports manga, and I have never watched or read it because it's old and I see old things and I'm like ugly. No thanks. I'm gonna watch Demon Slayer. But this is modern. It came out in 2022, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. I had to look it up because it's about like one of the random other members of the team, and they I like if you know the series, you're not me and you're not just randomly like this one, click, you would know that. But there's a guy on the team that's like the actual main character from the original series, and this, but I mean, like not knowing anything about it, they do a pretty good job of like endearing you to the whole team, and like by the movie is like chunks of the main character from this movie's life and like how like he like loves his brother, wants to play basketball with his brother. His brother goes on a fishing trip, fucking dies, Sag, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep playing basketball, even though my mother doesn't love me and she blames me for his death for some reason." Uh, and then it like interstitials into like a big basketball game that is like they need to win this game or they're not going to nationals or whatever the fuck. And they do like, did I say what I gave it? I gave it a 7 out of 10 stars. It was enjoyable enough. I would probably watch it again. I'm not like rushing to, but if anything, and I assume part of this is why it got made. Maybe I mean it's probably an anniversary project, but uh, I kind of want to go read Slam Dunk or watch Slam Dunk or whatever because this exists, and that's probably they're like part of why they made it. Moving on to the next thing on the old listicle is Licorice Recoil, and this is something that I've had on my list for a while. It came out in summer 2022. I gave this one 8 stars first of all, so I don't forget. This one, it's like I don't know. An easy way to describe it would be that it's like kind of like, what if instead of John Wick being a 90-year-old Keanu Reeves, it was two high school anime girls? And I was aware of this because I've seen a lot of fan art of the characters, like, and I don't even just mean Ruler 34. I mean like literally, I would open up Twitter and there's so much fan art of the main girl Chisato just like hanging out with the other girl whose name I forget now. Um, it's kind of like a classic, like, oh, Chisato is like a giga optimist, while the other girl's like a cold-blooded killer. How will they change when they meet? And the answer is that the cold-blooded killer becomes less of a bitch when she meets the kind girl. But it's got a pretty interesting premise where the main girl Chisato is this like super soldier, and she chooses to not kill anyone, even though she's part of this like assassination regime, basically. Uh, and then the other girls like shoot first, ask question later until she meets this girl, and then they like go on missions together where they like realize maybe there's more to it, and then by the end, the main girl gets like has to ask herself if she's willing to kill someone really important to her if it'll protect her like newfound family. But it's not like I gave it an 8, which to me seems like maybe a little high in retrospect, but I did like it and I would definitely watch it again. And I think there's a second season now, so I'll watch that too. But um, it's just kind of like dumb fun junk food, like any action series without like a super deep plot. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about that, especially because that one I watched like 2 weeks ago. Forget uh, I say that I have like three more things on the list, but one of them I definitely will have fuck all to say about. But next, okay, moving on. Next on the list we have Blue Exorcist. Because my on the list has everything in Japanese, I don't know what this title is. It's Ao no Exorcist, which is Blue Exorcist, colon, Yuki no Hatehan. Yuki means snow. I don't know what the rest means. Uh, I'm super stoked that Blue Exorcist is at a point where there's like actual seasons coming out and not like season 1 came out when I was like 13. I'm 27 now. Uh, and then like season 2 came out when I was like a senior in high school, and then season 3 didn't come out until last year. So like when I was like 26, and then now season 4, this is fall 2024, so just came out, and season 5 is airing right now. I just saw that the dub came out for season 5, quote unquote. But back the manga has been coming out for a gazillion years, but it doesn't help that there's like the author takes a million breaks. So I remember reading it, and I loved what was season 1. I didn't love what was season 2. Season 3 was my favorite part of the whole manga, and I was like super excited whenever there was a new chapter, like every fucking 6 months. Then you hit what season 4 is, and it's like I gave this 5 stars because it's like baseline fine, but like at the end of the day, especially this season, not that interesting. It's called Snow, blah blah blah, and it's about that for maybe like episode 1 and 2 of the season. It's only 12 episodes. Episode 1 and 2 are about just like friends hanging out, and then like episode 4, 5, and 6 I think are about um the title, the snow shit, about a girl like fighting a evil snow snake demon. And then they wrap it up in 3 episodes. I remember this lasting a million fucking years in the manga, maybe just because of all the breaks. But then the next however many episodes is just like set up for what's season 5. And like this season ends with being like, come back for season 5 because that's what this will be about. And it was really like, you could almost like not watch this season and nothing would fucking change. Although maybe I'll speak different on that when like the whole show is out. But from what I remember, this season, it's like borderline filler, but like in canon, where like even in the current day manga chapters, I'm not like, man, thank God season 4 happened. That really set up the stuff that's happening now. Second last thing on my list, I watched these next 2 things I watched literally yesterday. So this says Cider no Yi nu Kotoba ga Wakiagaru. The title on Netflix was like Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, and I thought that was a fucking cool title. Like it's eye catching. The basic idea, I gave this one 6 stars. The basic idea is that there's this kid called Cherry that like is very shy. He only really is comfortable expressing himself through haikus. Fucking dork. And he meets a girl that's called Smile. Everyone in this movie has like really basic names. So he's Cherry, she's Smile. They have a friend called Beaver, and they have a friend called Japan. And then I think everyone else has normal names, but like they all have just like one word bink names. But like Cherry meets Smile, he's the shy fucking dork ass, and she's the outgoing like, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another Instagram live stream. And then they fall in love. But also, I gave it 6 stars because the first scene of the movie is this like beautifully animated sequence where Beaver is getting like chased on a skateboard through a mall, and it's like, oh, this, even if it's like not that good, I'm glad this scene exists. It's fun to watch. But then the rest of the movie is just like slow burn of like Cherry coming to terms with the fact that he like is in love with Smile, but then he's moving anyway, so it's not going to amount to anything. And I like it doesn't, because then he does move away, and yeah, whatever. Um, I remember, especially towards there's a scene where they're like desperately looking for a piece of music on record on vinyl, and they find it, and then Smile's dumbass breaks it, and she's like, "Oh fuck, dude, I broke it," and then that causes like a disturbance in the force between Cherry and Smile. And then like the next scene is them going back to work, and they're like, that clock looks pretty familiar, and the clock is the fucking another copy of the record. So it like a big chunk and plot of the movie doesn't fucking matter. And then it ends with him doing a big poorly translated, I think, because like I had the subtitles up going with the English dub, and they weren't one to one, and he kept saying things that wasn't being said in the Japanese version, and I was like, that that's interesting. Uh, and he finally says the title of like my feelings for you make me say words that bubble up like soda pop, and you're like, oh, they're finally like together, yippee, even though they're not because he's moving away. Um, Maybe there's like other people that have like 5D level 5D chess playing brains that like get all the haikus and shit, but it went right over my head. I think I don't know, or it's just not good, maybe. And then the last thing on the list, ending out the video, and I also see that with watching this movie, I have completed 333 anime ever. That's pretty cool. We have Dragon Quest: Your Story, a movie that came out in 2019. I've been meaning to watch this movie forever because it's so beautiful. Oh my god, is it a dream? It's on Netflix, um, and I give it 9 out of 10 stars because I think it's like the best example of like taking a video game, even though it's not really based on any specific Dragon Quest title, and making it into a movie. But no one's watched it because it's just like some random anime movie and not like Sonic by Hollywood. Not knocking on Sonic, that movie's awesome. But like, no, I don't know anyone else that has seen this movie because I'm a special little snowflake. But I remember I was watching the whole thing and I was like, this is pretty good. I'll probably give it like a 7 until like spoilers, the ending. I'm not gonna say what happens, but something happened that literally had me like jumping up and down. I'm like, oh shit, are they really fucking doing this? And like pointing at the screen like I'm in the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, like, no fucking way they're doing this. And then they do it, and it's fucking awesome. And it has a pretty poignant message on how like video games are art and they mean things to people. Uh, like if I was gonna give Okay, just like I said, don't fucking go watch Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. You have to go watch Dragon Quest: Your Story. Like, it's so good. Even if you're not a Dragon Quest fan, you're still going to be watching like a fun uh, animated action movie that wasn't even that long. I think it was like an hour 40. Again, like Final Fantasy VII, that was too long for Final Fantasy VII. Advent Children, it was not long enough for this one. I wish this movie was like 3 hours long. And that's the end of the January list. I'm gonna maybe see you again throughout February. I have an idea for some videos that I might do. I'm not gonna promise anything, but I do have an idea where when I was a little baby boy, I watched anime that I definitely should not have watched like when I was too young. Um, so I'm thinking about doing something like that. That's been in my brain. I also still want to do another video that I thought of back in December that I haven't, but I really want like I said, like New Year's resolution style, I would love to commit to like actually making videos. Even like I basically forced myself to make this one. Like I was like, oh, I'm just gonna make a video tomorrow. Like the hardest part is actually just doing it because I'm such an unmotivated little Kremlin. But yeah, if I don't do the videos I'm thinking of, you'll still see me at the end of February for my February check-in list. That's about it for this one. See you later.